Hello, this is Eddie Mendoza and welcome to Pathways of Hope. Today's Gospel from Matthew 18 has two short but significant lessons. First, Jesus deals with the leadership ambitions of his chosen disciples, teaching them what it means to be great in the kingdom. The second lesson, Jesus tells the parable of how the Father seeks out and rescues the lost sheep from his sheepfold. Today, I want to focus, if you may, on the lost sheep. In verse 12, Jesus asks a rhetorical question. He asks, if any man has 100 sheep, and one of them goes astray, will he not leave the 99 on the mountains and go and search for the one that is lost? It's rhetorical because the answer is obvious. Of course, he will go and look for the sheep that went astray. And the lesson that Jesus points out is this. He says, God, your Father in heaven, he says, is like that shepherd. He does not want any of his little people to be lost, not even one of them. And who do you think Jesus was referring to as the people who are like the lost sheep? Well, let me tell you some stories. Many years ago, my wife and I, Daisy and I, with our kids, were visiting Singapore and enjoying a park somewhere in the city. I don't remember exactly. We rented bicycles for each of our kids and they biked around exploring the nice, huge park. After a while, the kids returned to where Daisy and I were stationed, except for one, my daughter Danny. Okay, apparently she went astray and we didn't know where she was. It took us maybe 15-20 minutes before we found her. But those frightful 15 and 20 minutes seemed like eternity. Grabe. Now, second story. On another occasion, I think 2 or 3 years ago, I was with 3 of my grandsons and we joined 2 friends of mine to climb a mountain in Mount Mariveles in Bataan. Though we didn't have a guide, we simply followed our 2 friends, even though, I don't think they were ever been up on that mountain, but they're experienced climbers. And so we followed what seemed to be the one and only trail going up to that mountain, to that ridge. What can I say? Boys will be boys, right? Bahala na. At some point, maybe 2 or 3 hours later, after refreshing ourselves by a stream, one of our friends who was leading us led us up through what he thought was a shortcut that would return us back to the main trail. Soon enough, after about maybe 20 minutes, we found ourselves, hiking through a very heavily wooded section with no visible sign of where we would be heading. The trail got thinner and thinner, and so eventually there was no more trail. I started feeling that our friend was leading us blindly, and I knew we were lost. And if we proceeded further deep into the woods, we would never find our way back because the forest was so thick. That's when I said, stop, and I instructed everyone to head back to the stream. Let's go back to that little river. Thankfully, we found ourselves back in that stream and we reoriented ourselves and discovered the proper trail. Imagine if we had remained continuing and attempted to plow through that forest, we would probably eventually be exhausted and we would be desperately lost and maybe even spend the night in the jungle without provisions and without shelter. And even more frightening was the thought that except for Daisy and the father of those my grandsons, except for them, nobody else knew that we were in this mountain. And how would they ever find us? It freaked me out thinking about it. But what's my point? No one wants to get lost, right? Who wants to get lost? Yet, many of us make decisions that lead us astray from where we aim to be or where we aim to go, right? And I don't mean just physically getting lost in unknown territory like my stories earlier. I mean life in general, We can get lost in in our relationships. We can go astray in our career or our vocation or our business. Maybe we start off with good intentions, but then we get distracted, we go astray, then we lose track of what is important and find ourselves wandering aimlessly, you know. And it may seem like we're in a good place, you know. We would eventually soon discover that we're actually missing out on important things that are vital for a full, productive, and meaningful life. This is true. This is true not only with the things that occupy our time and attention, such as studies or career, business, or relationships. This is true also about our own character, our personality, including our emotional and spiritual well-being. It's easy to lose our sense of balance and direction and security. And, you know, especially in our modern times today, when we are confronted with so many attractive options, so many resources to do anything and everything we set our minds to. And it costs so little to shift our attention from one thing to another, from one focused thing to another. And then, sometimes, life throws us a curved ball, and things happen to us without our knowing it or intending it. For example, we get laid off, or our competitors go to our customers go to our competitors. You know, the doctor tells us we have cancer, we have a miscarriage, we get betrayed by our partner, a storm washes away all our belongings, we lose a loved one. And when these things happen, we get disoriented, we feel lost, we despair, and we suffer unimaginable pain and anguish and grief. My dear brothers and sisters, the problem of loss and the condition of feeling lost and disoriented is real, you know, and it happens even to the best of us. And it has a tendency to resurface in a different variant throughout all our lives. If it's not one thing, it's another. But you know what? In this simple parable of the shepherd looking for the lost sheep, Jesus gives us hope. He tells us of the great love that our Father has for each one of us. When Jesus says that the shepherd will search for the lost sheep and bring it back to a safe place, that means God totally cares for each one of us. And He does not like us to get lost. He does not like us to feel alone. And He does not want us to be without purpose and without direction. In fact, God sent Jesus into the world to grieve, and He weeps when we weep. You know, He grieves when we grieve, and He weeps when we weep. That's what Jesus did. And that's why elsewhere in the gospel, Jesus invites each and every one of us to follow Him, because He says He is the way, the truth, and the life. You know, and He promises that there is a room prepared for each of us in His Father's house. And this room is where He wishes to take each of us if we follow Him. My dear friend, the Bible, which reveals all of God's thoughts and intentions and plans for you, assures you over and over and over and over again that God cares for you, you know, and that He has a plan and a purpose and a specific purpose for you. And fulfilling this purpose, fulfilling His purpose, is all you need to focus on. So please, I encourage you to spend time listening to what God says about Himself and His plans for you through the words that He speaks in the Bible. Now, if you're going through a period of disorientation today, of emptiness, of lack of direction, of grief even, my prayer for you is that you find comfort in the words of Psalm 23. In this psalm, God promises that even though you wander into and get lost in the valley of darkness, know that He is with you. God is with you. Trust Him and believe in Him. And God will meet you wherever you're at. And then, if you trust Him, He will lead you to green pastures. He will lead you to still waters, and that goodness and kindness will follow you through the days of your lives, and you will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. On the other hand, for those of you who have found new direction, new meaning and purpose in life through Jesus, despite the storms and the darkness that life continues to send our way, praise God for the peace and confidence that you have from following Jesus. My prayer for you, though, is for the Lord to use you, to be His eyes, to be His ears, and to be His hands, to look for those who are lost, and to reach out to them with compassion, with empathy, and to lead them along the pathway of hope into the loving embrace of the Good Shepherd. God bless us all.